Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is going to be the next part and an interesting part of our food app series. So in the last videos, we did some of the basic functionality of our customer app, and in this video, from this video going on, we'll start working on our restaurant app and eventually going towards the rider app, right? So today we are gonna set up our restaurant app, right? Now, if I jump to the code and show you some stuff, for example, let's just get over here into this section. And now, um, inside this data, you will see that I have this network module it's not actually network module. It contains some other stuff as well, but like we have some basic configuration that we have done, right? And we have also integrated hilt. We have also set up some more stuff that will basically that help us like notifications and things like that. um, and if I have to create a new project and start working again and integrating again, this can take a lot of time, right? So today I'm going to show you how we can reuse most of the common code for each of the app, and the app will have different kind of flavors. Each flavor will basically be something like, for example, if we have a customer flavor, that will be related to customer. It will show you the screens, design, flows that will be for customers. And if it is restaurant, which means that the restaurant related stuff would be shown in that app. So kind of same code base, common code base will be the same section. Okay, so basically to create flavors or variants, what you need to do is that you need to go over here into build.gradle file and go to your modules. Okay, now over here you have all these things that are there. Now make sure that you are inside this Android section. And now over here, let's just do something like product flavors. Okay. Now, for example, this is something that dev and production that you can define. I'm gonna not gonna use dev and production. Instead, I'm gonna say customer. Okay. And this is going to be restaurant, right? And the third one is going to be create rider. Okay. So these are the three things that we have set up. We have set the dimension for this. Along with that, let's say if you want to have some sort of app ID suffix, because you cannot use the same product for each of them, so you can define some sort of stuff like that. So I'm gonna say application ID. If you like, now if you want to define a specific product ID, like a different product ID or like app ID, you can just define application ID over here and define something like this, right? Now, in my case, I'm going to use the same product ID that I have. I just want to add a dot column and add rest of the stuff for the rider and the restaurant. So I'm not going to use it over here. Instead, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say application ID suffix is equals to dot restaurant, which means that it will use the existing app ID, right? And it will just add a dot restaurant at the end of it. Now, let's just do the same thing for the rider as well. Now, this is done. What else we can use? Like if you have any other properties, for example, if you have some sort of different backend URL that you want to direct to, in my case, I'm going to use the same. But let's say there are cases when you are making a different flavor. There can be cases where you have a different backend URL, so you can define those kind of configuration over here as well. One more thing that I'm gonna do over here, and that would be to change the resource value of our app name. Since basically in the normal case it will be food hub, right? In case of food hub, basically this is going to be fh restaurant. I think that should be enough, right? And I'm gonna use the same thing. Now I'm gonna use the same thing for fh rider over here. This will basically, what it will do is that it will take that app name, and you can see that I have a string resource with this name over here, which is basically food hub android over here. So what it will do that it will replace it with this key over here for each flavor. So let's say if I'm running a restaurant, it will change that. If I'm running a rider, it will change it to that, right? Now there is one more thing that I need to do over here, and that would be to define the flavor dimension over here. So I'm going to say flavor dimensions plus equals to, and then I'm going to say environment. So basically, that is something that we have done. And I think once you do that, what you can do is that you need to sync it. Okay, so now when you sync it and into the left panel, normally you will get something over here, like right beneath this section, you get a build variant. But right now I'm not getting it, right? So what you can do is you can click over here and search for build variant. And now you can see this is the build variant. And from over here inside this build variant, you will see something interesting now. You will see customer debug, customer release, restaurant debug, restaurant release, rider debug, and rider release, which means now you have three different flavors. You have three different flavors that are there. Now, this is not enough because we have just created the variants. We need to configure the variants along so that we can directly access, we can place the common code in one place and then take the rest of the stuff or like the relevant stuff into the other part of the app, right? So how do we do that? So basically to do that, I'm going to do is that I'm going to change into package structure. Now inside this package structure, what you need to do is that you need to go over here into this source, and now you have this main over here. This main mean is that this is the common section. Okay, and now I have three different flavors, right? So for each flavor I'm going to create one package. Let's say this is going to be customer. And now you can see that you have this customer Java, customer resource. So I think I'm gonna, since I'm gonna, sorry, it's not be Android test, instead that is, so over here you can see that you have this customer Java Kotlin. So I'm gonna use customer Kotlin. That's something that I have, right? And inside that, or even over here, you can just create one more directory, and that is going to be, again, you can say customer slash resource. Okay, so make sure to select the one that is there. So I'm going to use resource over here. Now you will see that you have these two values over here. Now inside that you can define your package as well. So let's say I'm going to say com dot code with fk dot android, if I'm not wrong. It should be food hub. I think that is something, that is the package that is there in the default as well, right? So now I think that is one thing. The customer section is done, right? You can do the same thing for the rest of the stuff. So one way is to use, you basically change it to the different variant and then create each one of them. Second one would be to just create another package directory. So last time it was customer, now I'm going to say restaurant. Okay, so when I create a restaurant, we have something like this. I'm now gonna copy these two folders that are there. I'm gonna paste it inside them. Come on. Okay, let's see. Okay, now you can see that the Kotlin and resource for this as well is there. And now the third one would be to create a rider app. Okay, so now I've created this rider repository, and then I'll paste the rider repository over here. Now, when you look into this, you will see by the colors and by the structure, you'll see that you have customer that have this blue Kotlin and resource, but these two are like not like that. The reason for that is that current selected variant is customer, right? So let's say, let me just switch to customer, from customer to restaurant, right? So when I go to restaurant, and we'll just slightly make it a slide down. Now this time you will see when I open this, this is the colors for this change, and the customer one became blank. So basically this will show you which variant or which flavor that is basically there that's running. So I'm gonna switch back to the customer, because right now we don't have anything for the restaurant, and we will basically do a lot of stuff. But for now, let's just keep it this way. Now, another interesting thing is that right now from over here, when you look into this section, what is there that is not used, or like that we don't need? For example, the add address section. This is for customer address list, cart, food item details, home, home notification list. I think notification can be used for both, for rider and for the like for each flavor. And then we have order details. Again, order details for the customer would be different. Order success case, orders listing can be used over here for this. And then the restaurant details. So I think most of the cases, like for most of the stuff, will not be using it, right? The data, I'm gonna place the models and remote stuff over here the same like there are. You can also like change these, keep only the relevant models that are there in the relevant folder, and leave the rest again for the rest of stuff. But yeah, we'll start working on this. Right now you can see we have something like this. So now I'm gonna so now so the target over here would be to basically take all the necessary stuff that we can place over here inside this uh, customer section that is specifically relevant to customer, and keep the only common stuff that is available inside this. So yeah, so let's just do that. I think UI is something that we should take there. So I'm going to create a package, call it UI. Now inside this UI, we'll create another feature, another package, call it feature, right? And now inside this feature, we can place all these folders. So add address, address list, cart, food item details, home. I think home, yeah, home should also be there. Order details, order success, orders should be there. Notification should also be there. So I think I'm gonna take all these values and place it over here inside this customer section. So I'm gonna refactor this. It will take some time. Okay. So now you'll see that some of the stuff is over here inside this main section, and rest of the stuff is gone there. Now what basically we have left over here, that we have some auth screens that are there. We have the notification and things like that. Now when you go to main activity, now basically the problem over here is that, sorry, so now we cannot place them over here because right now it is there. But let's say when I switch to the variant to restaurant life, since I'm a customer and these files are available in the customer, but let's say as soon as I switch to restaurant, the restaurant will stop like building, because it will not be able to identify the ad address screen and the card screen. It will be only be identifying the stuff that is like available to them, right? So that is basically an issue for us, and we need to fix that. So let me just get back to customer debug. So once we do that, so now, to fix that, basically, we know that we have this issue. So what I'm going to do is that, since this main activity and home view model is strictly related to the customer, so I'm going to get over here inside the Scotland section. Let me just create one more package. And rather than using this, I'm going to make it utils so that I have this extra space. Now let's just take these two values, home view model and main activity, and place it inside this package on root level. Make sure to have same places where it was previously. Now once you do that, you will have something like this. Okay. Now your app should run fine for customer section, but what next thing that we need to do is that we need to set up for our restaurant app, right now you can see we still have this customer debug section, which is fine. And now let me just switch to our restaurant debug. So when I switch to restaurant debug, the first problem that you will see, and that would be, if you go to the manifest file, you will start getting error for this main activity, which means that now the app is not able to identify the main activity, right? So now I'm gonna copy the nav route for the customer, sorry, the main activity for the customer. So I just copied that, and inside the restaurant main section, we'll go to Kotlin. In this section, I'll paste that main activity over here, right? And when I paste that this over here, you will see that we have all these errors. So I'm just gonna get rid of all those errors that are not needed. So I'm gonna remove whatever that's not needed. For example, these feature screens related to card are not needed. Again, the address section, we don't need them. And also over here, you will have this cart view model, which not needed. Again, this navigate to section. Now again, this is important. Let's say you have a different kind of notification handling over here. In previously I had a view model which was taking me to navigate to order screen. So if you have something, we can definitely add that, but for now I think we should not use this, right? Again, one more thing over here is this section. So right now in this section, what we need is, don't we don't need the card section. we will be using the home as the default section for, and then we'll have notification and orders. For orders, we'll have a different screen, so I'm gonna at least keep it there, but I'll keep a blank section for that. Now, in the home, we have a home, but this time in this home section, I'm gonna create a different screen. Let's say I'm gonna say restaurant home screen. So this basically composable will be something that is related to restaurants, right? Then address, we don't need the address, we need these values, so I'm going to get rid of them. In for the order success, you can again see that it's complaining we don't need the order success. We don't even need the order list screen. It should not be over here available to the to this inside this main. So I'm going to get this order section and push it to the customer section, because this is part of the customer, we don't need them. I will just refactor this. Now over here it will start complaining about this one. I'm going to get rid of that, and again we don't need the order details as well, so we'll get rid of this. Right now over here, the intent issue is again there. I'm gonna just remove it for a while, because again we know this we need to fix this. But something like this. So basically, when you look into this, we have a nav host that is that contains some sort of requires a nav controller. Then it has a start destination like a normal, and then it has some default enter exit navigation, and these values are basically repetitive. So what you can do is that you can create your own custom nav host, add these values as value, and then set some sort of default values for this as well. So that will basically help us reuse everything if for each of the screen. Right now, let's say if I want to change some sort of navigation, the transition, then I'll have to go and change it for each main activity sections. But if I create some sort of a custom that the a custom object, that will basically help me have those in one place and then reuse them. So I'll go over here into this widget class, and let's just go to the bottom section. And now inside that, over here, let's just create a composable, and this composable is going to be function. Let me just add some space in the bottom. Function food hub nav host. So basically, this is kind of a food hub section that will kind of a nav host, but it will have some stuff as default. So I'm gonna just import that nav host. Sorry, import the composable nav host over here. And now if you look into this, this will basically have multiple implementations. So let me just get, I think this is the one that I need. And over here you have something like this. So I'm gonna just copy everything like the way it is, and inside that I'm gonna paste those values over here. Okay. And for enter transition, for exit transition, for these values, I think I have something. So for enter transition, let's just use this. So I'm gonna cut that over here, and over here will basically, if I'm not wrong, it should be something like this. This is for enter, and then again for exit, I'm gonna use this. So we'll get over here and go for the exit. We'll replace it with this one. Okay. Is this something that I'm okay? Yeah. So yes, just make sure to place it inside it so that it's not a problem. Again, then we have this value for pop enter. We'll get over here, and this is the pop enter. You can see that it's again reusing the enter transition, which we don't need. So I'm gonna add this for pop enter, and then for pop exit, we'll get rid of this. Now we can get rid of these values. So let's just get rid of them. And over here inside this pop exit transition, I'm gonna use this like this. Okay. Now once you do that, now you have something like this. We can get rid of this. Instead, I'm gonna pass all the values that are there. So we will be using everything that's coming from the top. nav controller. We got the nav controller. Then we have the start destination. Why am I using this? It should be start destination. And I'm going to use the correct one. Nav host. Then we have modifier, content alignment. Then we have a route. Okay, let's just. Okay, so I think once you add these value, this is done. And now, basically, rather than using a food hub nav host, so nav host, simple nav host, I'm going to change it to food hub nav host, and you can just import that. And once you import that, and as soon as I import, you will see that it's done. I think we can change it to any over here, and it would not be creating any issue, and then it will fix this issue as well. So now we have something like this restaurant home screen is not there, it implemented. So for now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use composable over here. So I'm gonna say composable restaurant screen function, restaurant screen, and in this case I'm gonna just create a box with a fill max size and have a text home. Okay, so now that is done. Now when you go back over here, you can just get rid of the rest of the stuff that is there. Just all take all the unnecessary things that are there, so that we can just focus on the stuff that is needed for now. Okay, so all here, let's just go there and add these parameters so that it can be fixed. Okay, so now I think our restaurant section is now basically done. It should hopefully not create any issue right now, and we should be able to run this code. Now let me just see. Let me just try to run the code and see if we can get something. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now basically this is complaining that there is no client available for this restaurant, and the reason it's not available is that basically we need to go to Firebase and basically add the package, the app for this. So this is the package. I think this is the one that I was using, and over here you can see that when we look into the app, this is Food Hub Android only, right? So over here we can just add one more Android package over here, and this time it's going to be com dot code with fk, dot food hub dot restaurant. Okay, just to be super clear about all these things, you can always get that package from over here as well. So this is basically the error, and I'm gonna just get that, paste it over here, and define that Android app section. Let's say um, this is going to be restaurant, restaurant. Okay, and then you can register the app. And once you register the app, now this is again very interesting and very cool thing that you need to do, and you will just download that JSON file from this. Now once you basically download this, this time the files, the basically the Google Play Services file should be placed in a relevant section to work. Okay, now over here, let me just close this. Okay, so right now we have this one JSON file that is available um, in the common section, and this is basically for customer. So I'm going to take that JSON file and place it inside this customer section so that the customer can only use it, and this is basically used for customer only. And now I'm going to take the newly downloaded file, and that is for our restaurant, right? So for that, I'm going to take that file and I'll place it inside this restaurant main. So I'm going to paste that over here, and it, you will see that it will complain. So we need to make sure to rename it to a proper JSON file. And now you will see that this is there. Now when I run the code, you will see that the restaurant app will be able to basically run the app as well, and it will, at least the error that we had for from Firebase will not be there. So I'm hoping this time we'll see this specific section to be updated as per the new flavor that we have. Now you can see basically the app that we ran is basically now a restaurant app. We can definitely add some sort of things, like for example, we don't want to have the first three buttons for restaurants, because for restaurant we don't want the user to sign up, right? We only want them to have a login. So in for the restaurant we will just hide these one two three four values from the screen, and we will show only this value. And for rider as well, we'll show only this a login section, which will basically be the default section. So basically to do that, what I need to do is that I'm gonna set over here, and rather than along with the nav controller, I'm gonna add one more variable into this, and that's going to be um, is is customer. Let's say is customer, and that is going to be false. Oh, sorry, a boolean. Right. So what basically this means is that we'll see if it's a customer, then we'll not be showing those buttons, right? Now over here, we'll go to the section where do we have those buttons. So you can see we have this is for sign in with email. Already have an account, that is again login. So I think for this column we don't want to show these values. So these are the all these sections. So I'm gonna say if if not if not is customer, which means that if the customer, sorry, it should be if it's a customer, we only show these values to the customer, right? And we might have to change some of the other values as well. So let's say for auth screen, now this is complaining, so we need to set some sort of default value for this as well. So initially, like in a default case, I'm gonna set that to true, which means that every time when the auth screen is called, this will be true. But for restaurant section, when the auth screen is called, where do we have this auth screen? So inside this restaurant section, you will see this is the auth screen. And along with the, basically, I'm going to say that to be false, which means now the only the login will be shown to the user. So let me see if we click on that, basically, sorry. So now once that is done, you can see for the customer, I'm getting this, right? We have these buttons. And now let me just switch to restaurant and run the code again. So when I switch to restaurant, you will see that these value will go away, which will basically again show me that this is a customer app, or sorry, this is a restaurant app or a rider app. But we can definitely have some sort of more changes to the UI, or let's say add some sort of strings or values that comes from different flavors, and show them so that we can identify, okay, what values are there and what we have to, what kind of app is basically running. So okay, now you can see everything is gone. You can click over here. When you click over here, you get into this section. And again, now over here we don't want these values again, because for login we just want to have the user to log in, and we don't want this section for the login screen as well. So we need to fix that as well. So I'm gonna go into the sign in screen, and again, this is a customer section, so I'm gonna add a false value by default, and I'll get over here into this section and change the values accordingly. So I'm going to say is customer is going to be a boolean, and that is going to be true by default. Okay, which means the default value for this should be true. But when we get over here into this section where we have this don't have an account sign up section and these values, so basically for this I'm going to say that only show if it's a customer, we only show these value to them, and else we won't show them. And now let's just rerun this, and this time you will see that these values are, so basically the login, even the login will not be showing the rest of the button, and it will show only the login button to us. Right. So the app has run now. You will see, we'll get over here, we click on the login, and now from the login, you can also see that we don't have that. So basically, so this was basically the basic structuring of how we can set up flavors for our app. And in the next video, what we'll do is that we'll make sure, now right now what will happen is that you'll still be able to log in with the customer app. So let's say if I have a furkan at gmail.com, right? And when you sign in, you'll still be able to sign in. But what we want to do is that we need to make sure to not, oh, sorry, yeah, we got this as well. So basically, ideal cases, it should not work. So I think so that was it for today. And in the next video, we'll basically implement user specific to like app type, so that only restaurant owner can log into the restaurant app, and only riders can log into the rider app, and customer can only log into the customer app. And as an assignment for you, if you are watching this, I would ask you to set up the same structure for the rider app. Right now, I have just implemented the customer and restaurant app, and I'll ask you to update the values or like create a main activity inside the rider repository, and set up the screens that are relevant to the rider app only. So I'll see you in the next video. So till then, happy coding. Bye.
I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like the video, comment down below and share the video with your friends. For similar content, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you have any queries, you can join my Discord server where we discuss different kind of things. So thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye.